Have you ever wondered what goes bump in the night? What could be lurking round the corner? What shadows are waiting for us in the dark? Why we feel like we are being watched by the mysterious eyes of an unknown entity? When all rational explanations have been exhausted, it only leaves one explanation: the paranormal. Take a journey into the realm of the paranormal with your hosts, Damon Penny and Ben Winfield. We explore all things paranormal, from mediums to apparitions, from orbs to the occult, from demons to angels, and everything in between. So strap in and join us as we explore into the unknown. And don't forget, things can get a little strange. The Other Dimension Show, on Pulse Talk Radio.
Welcome! Oh, I've been wanting to do that for ages. I've been waiting for you, Mr. Bond. It's time for The Other Dimension. Welcome along. It's your Friday night paranormal fix with myself, Damon Penny, aka the Paranormal Viking, and I'm joined by the other members of The Other Dimension, Mr. Ben Winfield and Miss Louisa. I can't remember her second name, but
Brown.
She's here. There we go. I knew it was a colour, but I think purple would have sounded a bit wrong. So, and welcome along, people. Don't forget, if you want to get your comments in the chat, get them in the chat, and we'll get to them. To Emma, welcome along, Emma. Long time no see. Oh, look how that popped up. It's lovely.
I'm just that good now.
Oh, so professional.
He is. Louise has been teaching Ben the art of technology, and it's working, as you can see. Out to Tiger Miller, welcome along, guys. It's The Other Dimension. It's Paranormal Night Friday night fix with a majiggy. And
you're like, bah!
Yeah, I'm all excited. That's the problem. Out to Jacqueline, how you doing? Right, so
everyone's checking in. Brilliant.
Big shouts out to Annette. Oh, this is going to be a good one tonight. We have a special guest on tonight. We do. I'm going to hand it over to Ben to explain who he is. But before we get to that, a little bit of housekeeping. Don't forget, guys, the Patreon is still live. We haven't been uploading there for a little while. We're trying to get the YouTube up to 100 likes, so we can get our own YouTube. So basically, we can get our own little URL on YouTube. At Andrew, how you doing, mate? So if you go on our page, the YouTube link's there. Please go over there and like and subscribe. If we can get up to 100, we can get our own links. Out to Donna, welcome along. Also, another big one for you guys. If anyone is local or fancies to drive, not this Saturday, next Saturday, head on down to Tewkesbury, the Festival of the Unexplained. It's free entry. It's a one-day festival. Catch myself, Ben, and Louisa down there. We'll be doing a talk on the paranormal. We'll talk about demons now. Shout out to Wild Bill. Ben's been hard at work writing out our little speech ready for the lecture we're going to do down there. And also, there's going to be a paranormal fair there where you can also catch Slate and Bone down there selling the best of all your one-off stuff, biking jewellery, slate mouldings. It's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. I'm really looking forward to it. I've got to get up early to get down there, but I'm looking forward to it. So,
it'll be worth it, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely will be worth it. It'll be good to sort of like get to meet some of the people, and hopefully some of the listeners who listen to the show can pop down there. It'd be nice to meet you guys in person, and you can see how buff I really am in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I look like Jello with a face.
We're just still waiting on Craig at the minute, but we have obviously the guys over at the Stoke-on-Trent Haunted Museum. I don't really want to call it Haunted Museum because it is better than a Haunted Museum. We're just waiting for him to join us. But if you're ever in Stoke-on-Trent, brilliant place to go and look at. The address you will find on the page. They ask a small fee of £6 per person, which is generally
£7.
Oh, £7. My apologies. £7.
You can tell he didn't pay it.
Which is generally a small amount for what they're asking for, because obviously it's 2 buildings. They still have to have the lighting, they still have the heating on and all that sort of stuff. So it's worth every single penny. And the box that we talk about on this page, e.g. Ben's box, is down there, and they are deep in research on it, which is brilliant.
Definitely. So if you do want to see what's inside Ben's box, then head on down to Stoke on Trent, and you can find out the secrets that Ben hides in his box.
And here, are the fellas now. We're going to bring them in. Damon, do you want to do the magical things? Because I'm terrible.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Okay. Bam. Bam. Welcome along, guys.
Hello, good evening. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad.
How we doing?
How are we all right?
Running smooth now.
Running smooth.
Because you've got the admin here now. You've got the admin man here now. Welcome along, Craig. Yeah. Welcome along, guys. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
To start off with, just to make it so everyone knows who you are and what you do, just explain to us what it is, because me and Ben know what it is you guys do, but for the listeners that haven't met you before, just explain to them what it is you guys do and what you do within the paranormal field.
Okay, so we now own a haunted museum in Stoke-on-Trent and Fenton, and we collect artifacts documented from all over the world, and we allow people to come here for either a guided tour or to come and hire the venue out and investigate the building and the artifacts as well.
Wicked. I like the sound of that. Rumour has it you have an original Romanian divot box there as well.
An original? No, where did you get that from?
Wrong museum.
Oh, Ben, you've just made me look like a complete knob. Thank you very much.
Just
he
for
likes
those
doing that to me.
For those that have heard me speak about that one, that's in Nottingham's museum. Stoke have our box.
Right.
Oh yeah, right. I knew that. I was just testing to see if he was still awake. So with the museum, with the stuff you've got in there, does it? Because we've had conversation on the show before about haunted objects and how they become haunted. Because you can't, an apparition or a spirit or a demon, they can't possess an object. They can only go into the object as a conduit. So do you think with the museum itself, do you think it's the actual building that's haunted, or do you think that it is the stuff you've got in there that's acting like a conduit for the spirits you're picking up?
There is haunted history to the building itself, but it is more so the artifacts that we have here that have collected over the years.
Yeah. So do you think it's residual? Do you think with the artifacts, do you think it's more like sort of residual energy, or do you think that there are like active spirits that are based within these conduits inside the museum?
I believe myself it's active spirits to do with most of the artifacts that we have. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, from the things that we've captured on camera and what we've experienced and what all the paranormal teams have experienced here as well. And we have CCTV monitoring 24 hours a day, and some of the footage we've captured has been incredible.
Just take us through some of the footage, some of the stuff you picked up, because I'm really, it's on my bucket list to visit there.
Yeah. Basically, we've had Mary, one of our main dolls. She's been caught on camera to actually spin around on a chair. She's thrown herself out of the chair. Her eyes have moved in front of members of the public. Some of the things that we get from other artifacts is incredible. We've just recently posted a little bit of footage from the lampshade at the back of the room there. We had a group in last night, and the lampshade just started to move around on its own. And we get a lot of physical interaction here with different things at the museum. Most of it's caught on CCTV, which is even better for us as well at the end of the day. And all the paranormal teams who come in here to investigate are also getting this footage for themselves as well. So, it isn't just what we're producing out there. It's from many other paranormal teams as well.
Brilliant. It sounds like one of them places that you just have to visit, and I can't stress it enough, guys.
Yeah. We say to everybody at the end of the day, come and experience it for yourselves. That's the only thing that we can do. You know, and everything that we do, all the artifacts we have documentation for, from where they've come from, the history of the artifacts. So it's just, you know, it's an incredible place. It really is.
We've posted your footage up, I think, further below this video on the page, the Dalton.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. That's proper good bit of evidence, especially on CCTV, because it sort of rules out all the skeptics that turn around and go, "Oh, well, it's someone moving it, and it's someone doing this," and it's like, you know, it's your mind, it's pareidolia and all this sort of thing. It takes that all away because it's a standalone camera that's caught this, and it's nothing
that's right.
where you guys, because it's a 24-hour feed, you can't go and put strings on it, or you know what I mean. It just this is the sort of evidence that this like sort of gets the skeptics and sort of chucks them out the window and goes, see if you can fly now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
pretty much, basically. Yeah, and most of our footage comes from CCTV cameras, you know, including all through the night when the building is completely empty as well, which is incredible for us because nobody in the building makes it even better again at the end of the day. All our cameras are motion and sound centered, so it picks absolutely everything up. And the reason we caught the bit of footage from last night is we had a group of 6 and 1, and 3 of the team were in here, and they heard 3 very loud, clear breaths. So we went back on the CCTV to see if the breaths had been picked up, and they have. And it is after that video that we're going to be posting later on with the breaths on there as well. Everybody in the room heard them at different parts of the room as well. And then we saw, obviously, when we went back through the footage, that's when we picked up on the lampshade actually moving as well.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's banging bit of evidence. I've got some questions from the listeners. Ben, do you want to go through the questions?
Yeah, I can do. Just before we start going through the questions, we know what I'm like. I won't blow smoke up anyone's backside, as we know from previous shows with previous guests. Just to let you all know, my grandma is still fine. She's still alive.
What did you have for breakfast, Ben? What did you have for breakfast?
Well, yeah. So we'll go to the questions. These guys are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Craig, bless him, didn't know what was going on when we first came round. We kind of dropped him in at the deep end at the end of it. So we'll go to obviously questions. By that comment. Yeah, we will. I think Bill. We'll go to Bill's question. So, how long has your museum been around? Which I think you guys answered.
Yeah, we only opened on August the 28th last year, so we're getting into 6 months now. You know, it's still relatively new. So, you know, and it's just the way that the museum is laid out and the artifact speaks for itself at the end of the day. Obviously, we were quite shocked when you guys visited. We had no idea of who you were or anything to do with it. And I was so blown away when you told me at the end, as you saw, you know, yourselves. You know, we work here with documentation and basically we work with the truth of the artifacts and where they've come from. And, you know, it is what it is. That's the only way forward as we see it. And, you know, we put a lot of work into the museum. We work with the artifacts on a regular basis as well. You know, and we just love doing what we do. It's a lot of passion and commitment for what we do. So, yeah, it's great.
Definitely.
Yep. So,
that's Karen.
Yep. Another an annoying question off my sister. So, out of all the artifacts, which one interests you the most that you have there?
Okay, right now it's got to be the box. I'm not going to lie. We've been busy in the front in the office all day, haven't we, doing paperwork and bits, and we've not actually been into the museum side today. And we've come down, sat downstairs, and we're both feeling quite a lot of physical pain. Both of us around the shoulders and neck area. Yesterday, I had a group of ladies who come in like once a week and work around the museum. And the readings that we had from the equipment and the Millighouse readings were absolutely sky high because we baseline test every day. And I've never ever experienced readings like that in the 6 months that we've been open. Incredible. You know, absolutely off the scale. Yeah,
that's nuts. I'm glad you picked the box though as your favourite artifact because everybody that listens to this show wants to know what's in Ben's box.
Yeah.
Well, now they've got the opportunity. You've got the opportunity to go and see the box.
Yes, it is. It is in case.
Oh,
Yeah,
Definitely worth it.
We
When we were here, she just said, people give us a donation, come see Ben's box. We missed out.
Link will be underneath the video, people.
Don't think it'd have the same apply. Come and see my box at the bottom of my garden.
But yeah, it's a strange item. It's a great artifact. I mean, we feel very honoured that you chose us, you know, to look after the box for you and do the research that we are doing with it. Obviously, we went into lockdown last Sunday evening for 36 hours with the box, just myself and Jeremy. Everything was recorded on private cameras and CCTV. We did some live feeds over in our supporters groups, and we had some really strange things with it. Yeah, really, really strange things. Yeah,
definitely picked up on the stick man as well. I've seen that photo. The
yes, indeed. Yeah,
in the box.
Yeah,
and
it was directly on the box. That was the weird thing that was with it. It's just, crazy, mate. Absolutely crazy. Yeah.
Sounds mad. Can I just say, just before we go any further, like, because I'm famous for my rants, so I won't say. From what I've heard so far with you guys, you tick all the boxes. You do your baseline tests every day. You do the lockdowns. You know, you have to see. You tick all the boxes. It's like basically, because we talk about this a lot on the show about skeptics obviously being there, you know, putting the downer on things and that. But the way you do things at the centre, at the museum. Yeah. You tick all the boxes. It's like, how can people argue with the evidence? Because there's no way that they can argue with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we are very thorough with our investigations and the work that we do. We baseline test every single day, regardless. You know, we come in and monitor everything that goes on. Cameras are never turned off. You know, like the box itself at the minute, that's got its own lock-off cameras situated on that all the time as well. You know, we just like to be thorough in what we do. You know, when people can come in here and have a look at these items for themselves, there's nothing to hide. You know, if we're on an investigation, if an artifact or an item was to move or to be interacted with, we're more than glad to put the lights on and we'll pick the artifact up and show you thoroughly in depth. You know, there's nothing attached, there's nothing around there, nothing that does it. You know, so we're quite honest with people. You know, the buildings need to be investigated.
Brilliant.
You know what I'm like calling I'll call bull when I call bull, but they gave me no reason whatsoever to call bull.
No, 100%, 100%. It's quite refreshing because we were speaking last week. Me and Lou were speaking last week when Ben decided to, you know, go and play Mr. Popular. But me and Lou were speaking last week, and we were saying like every team should be doing things the way they feel is right. And it's really refreshing to come across some guys, especially you guys at the museum, who are doing things so like methodically and thinking about everything that you're doing. It's like a breath of fresh air to the paranormal field. Yeah. It's something that's been needed for a long time because people are doing things the same way because that's what they've seen on Ghost Hunters or Most Haunted or do you know what I mean? To sort of go out there and you guys go, right, we're baseline testing every day. We're going to turn the lights on and show the artifacts for people to rule out the skepticism and the paranoia and stuff like that. It's really refreshing. I think it's something the paranormal field definitely needs 100%.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have investigations throughout the daytime, and although the museum is all painted black, we have people who can come and investigate with the lights on, you know, or it's candlelit. So it's not all in the dark like you see everywhere else. You know, we have some incredible footage from when the lights are switched on as well here in the museum. So, you know, people can come here and they can investigate in any way that they want. We're always on hand to get involved with people. And, you know, we've got a vast amount of equipment here to work with as well. And sometimes you don't need any equipment in the building, just sitting and listening to the building itself. You know, the first thing that we eradicate, if it's a noise from outside, you know, it's an old building. You know, we're the first people to turn around and say, you know, it's nothing untoward. This is what it is. And then there's things that are quite unexplainable as well, you know, that happen here as well. It's interesting.
Got quite a cool question from Bill here. I'll stick it up on the screen. He said, any reason for the upside down cross wallpaper behind you?
It's basically a theme on the back of the wall there. Obviously, we're big fans of the Conjuring series. And obviously, when we had the chair that sits in the corner, there's great spiritual attachment, I believe, personally, with the documentation we've got from it. goes with the old Bill's sitting room from The Conjuring 2, and it's just display purposes only, nothing more than that. So
wicked.
So I've got a question there from Wild Bill, as it is, about Bill's room. What different rooms do you have, and if I may ask?
Okay, yeah. So when you come into the museum itself, we have a shop area, and then we come through a bit of a display area, what we class as our Gothic vampire area. It is also very active in there. Then you come through into our Victorian seance room, and then downstairs where we are here is what we class as our trigger objects room. So it's a sitting room, dining table in the centre, and then we have a nursery at the far end. Then when we go upstairs, we have our main artifacts room. We have a small morgue area upstairs with a used morgue tray in there. And then I have my own chapel at the back of the museum as well, which is a great area to work in as well. And it's very active. Yeah. So it's not a bad sized building. It suits what we do with the artifacts that we've got. We are looking at extending as well, which fingers crossed we should be in the next few weeks. So yeah, it's because we're getting so many great artifacts coming in our direction now. Obviously we want to have the right amount of room, and we sort of laid it out in different areas what we believe works, and obviously we put artifacts around each other that we believe have a connection or the interact in the best parts of the building.
It sounds really cool. I mean, you got some big ups here from people like Annette saying, "I've followed Craig for a while. Seems amazing. Some amazing things have come up.
Yeah.
Some truly awesome occurrences have been seen." And Donna's saying here, Craig is so honest and genuine. I mean, like I was saying before, and I keep going back to it, the fact that the reason, the methodical approach that you guys have to the paranormal, it speaks for itself, because these guys are already saying, like, you guys know what you do.
Yeah, we just kind of, I mean, I've been investigating for 22 years this year, so
wow.
I think we just kind of like investigate in our own way, and some of the experiments that we do, we try and think outside of the box to make things different with the different experiments that we do as well. So just what gets results at the end of the day, that's all we're looking for. It's an intelligent response or a result that gives us the activity that we can produce. So,
21 years. That's about as long as Dame's been trying to grow his beard.
Yeah, a long time.
Hey, this is pure man growth. Yeah, I have to put peat on this and soil just to get it to grow.
Yeah, he says that he's got a lifetime of super glue where he just keeps going like that. Well, his hair's receding on one side.
I mean, it's really. I mean, 21 years investigating, that's a long time. I mean, I thought I was a veteran at 14 years, but 21 years. I mean, have you ever been interested in anything else apart from investigating, like, demonology or occultology?
Yeah, I do a few bits and pieces of courses, mainly on Dr. Kieran O'Keefe's website, with bits of demonology, possession, and things like that, and a bit of parapsychology. I like to look into all areas and aspects of the paranormal industry and branches off from there, but investigation work is my main thing. I love to do that. I do mediumship a little bit as well, and there's things like that. So yeah, I kind of try and keep my finger in with a lot of different areas of the industry. And it's hard to keep up with everything. It's time-wise at the minute with having the museum more so now as well. But yeah, we try and do as much as we can, don't we, in different areas of the industry. Yeah.
Wicked.
Nice.
Wicked.
Got another question here. So, who or what is the most? You're gonna have to say that word because my brain's just fried.
Ominous.
Or not spirit. Look, we know when it comes to complicated word, Ben's brain just shuts down.
It's hard to pick, isn't it? With so many artifacts, it's kind of like the thing that frustrates me a lot with the paranormal industry. I've got to be truthful with you. Is a lot of people out there, everything's always demonic, or everything's an evil entity or very bad spirit, and it's not like that.
Yes.
And it's so frustrating to see and hear all the time. Every location's a demonic, and you're like, come on. In our building, we have great energy from a lot of children's spirits in here as well, and some of the interaction, intelligent responses that ourselves and other teams have had here from lovely energy, as I would class it to be, is just as good as getting, people always think everything's to do with the devil or demonic, and it's not like that at all. It's, and it just gets a little bit, it's hard work sometimes to see some of the stuff out there because it's not all like that. In my personal opinion, anyway. At the end of the day, So
Yeah,
it's
I agree
it's
with
hard.
you. 100%. I agree with you.
Yeah.
100%. Everyone,
Yeah.
we've had it. How many times we had it, Ben? Where everyone, you're only a demonologist because demons are trending. Hashtag demons, or
God, yeah.
teams will go out and they'll go, oh, we've got a child with us. Oh, it must be demonic. It's luring us into a trap. No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
work
exactly.
like
It's crazy, isn't it? And everybody's coming up producing the same stuff at the end of the day, and it's not about that, in my personal opinion. So.
that.
Wild boy there with my friend Zach, he's a demon on every destination he goes. Yeah. Also,
I
another
love
one
Bill,
from
man.
Wild Bill. I like to study cryptids, known as the humans.
Don't, man. I'm heavily into Tartaria at the moment. I'm down the rabbit hole. I haven't come up for air for like nearly a week. It's been mental. I will do a show on Tartarians. It's going to blow people's mind. But yeah, that's for another time.
And do what I normally do.
Oh yeah, just pick it a bloody part like you normally do. I mean, it's having so many artifacts in a museum like that. You're not going to be able to pick out what I like to call, your pet ghost. The one that's always going to pop up and always be there.
Yeah.
It's always going to be. It depends on the night, the energy. You've got moon phases. You've got EMF fluctuations.
Yeah.
Even down to things like infrasound can affect like the different spirits because spirits work on different sort of megahertz and wavelengths. So I suppose it is hard to pick someone like to go, oh yeah, it's this one, or oh yeah, it's this one.
Yeah, it is, and that's the obviously the museum's a good sized building with a lot of different areas to work in, so it is hard sometimes to pinpoint exactly what you are working with. And that's the thing that's we have to try and fathom out as we're investigating here. So it can be very hard sometimes to pinpoint directly where you're working with. It's us knowing the building. We're here most days, probably 20 hours a day. So we don't get a lot of break time away from it. Yeah, we put a lot into what we do. We actively investigate with all the artifacts on a regular basis ourselves as a team. And obviously sometimes we take an artifact into the back room, into the seance room, so we try and do the study work that we do there with things like that. So, yeah. But there's no, some people say to us, what's your most active thing or what's your most active day or night? And yeah, there's no variation to it. It just produces, on a regular basis. We probably had now the most 6 active weeks at the museum since we've been open back in August. And we keep thinking that, we're going to get a break and it's, may get a quiet night, and touch wood at the minute, it's great. It just keeps producing all the time. And like I said, the thing that I love the most is this is from other paranormal teams from all over the UK are coming here and they're getting this evidence for themselves. And that's what we love. It's not just us saying, this is our museum, this is what it is. This is other teams from all over the UK and further afield as well. We had somebody come over from Australia last week. We had some guys come over from America. I think that was October last year. So we get a lot of people coming from around the world to visit us now as well, which is good. From just what they've seen, from what other people are putting out there. And some of these other paranormal teams are live feeding to their own subscribers, and fan bases, if you want to call it, followers. So people are seeing for themselves on their live feeds what activity they're producing as well from the museum. So, it's great.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
I agree.
Yes, that's why. Absolutely. It's run brilliantly. And Craig himself can tell you every single little detail about every single object in there.
It's like his own little Warren cave, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
cool, man.
It's sweet.
It looks better than the Warren Museum.
Well, thank you very much.
The Warren Museum looks like a shed.
Yeah, we like to have.
Sorry, go on, Craig.
We like to have, like I say, with the documentation, the history of the things. Like myself and Gemma and my daughter Lucy, we just there isn't, we know everything about it, all the documentation, and then obviously the work that we do afterwards with it as well. So if anybody came in and wanted to know about one specific item, I have the documentation and we can tell you absolutely everything in detail. about each artifact throughout the whole of the museum. So
just don't email them asking for it.
no. Yeah. He's had me over a couple of times now. Yeah.
Couple of questions for you, right?
Okay.
And this is something I always ask, especially when someone turns around and says they've been investigating for 21 years, right? And Ben's going to go, oh my God. But I have to ask this. What is your take on app-based ghost equipment?
Right. A lot of people like to use the app-based equipment now. Obviously, it's affordable. It's easy for them to download. My personal opinion is, with everything that's used, is we look for an intelligent response of what we're working with. There are a couple of apps that we run and trial and test. But for me, I always go back to the basic equipment, the actual physical equipment. A lot of people say within the spirit apps that are on your phones and pads and things, if you're using them, try and use it correctly for an intelligent response. Because, for instance, Con Spirit, if you're here with us, give us your name, and the word dog comes out, it's irrelevant. But you'll see some people that go, oh, maybe we're looking for the name of the dog, and they try and run away with something that clearly isn't there. Again, that's kind of a bit of a frustrating thing, but yeah, they're not my favourite things in the world to work with. I've got to be truthful with you.
Brilliant.
And a lot of the things that's frustrating is when you do a live feed, which is great to get footage out there for people, but people, not meaning any disrespect to anybody in any way, shape or form, but they want to see flashing lights and, words being thrown out 10 a penny. And unfortunately, it doesn't work like that at all. And, as you guys know yourselves. So, yeah, it can be a little bit frustrating sometimes because we like to actively investigate with basic methods or equipment. But obviously people online want to see the flashing lights and all singing, dancing spirit boxes. And, it's not like that at all. So it can be hard work.
Old school's the best school. Always has been.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Old school is the best school.
Yeah.
Also, the other question I have for you: do you find as well? No, I'm going to be not. This is a cool one. Do you find that you get different sort of interactions depending on the equipment people bring? I.e., for instance, if me and my team and Ben and Lou were going to come down, my mum has an original Hasbro Ouija board that she likes to use. Yeah. Would you find like using different equipment, you get different sort of vibes and energies, or even different sort of
I believe so. Yeah, most definitely, 100%. I mean, for me, you could buy the most expensive piece of equipment in the world, but if I put a toy car on that floor over there and it started to roll along the floor, I would be more impressed of that happening than having any device flashing lights or whatever it may be at the end of the day. Because you're getting physical interaction from a basic thing that has, no components inside of it at all whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah,
So, got another question here, guys. Best place you have ever investigated. Yeah, apart from the museum, obviously.
Oh man, yeah, that's such a hard question. I've been to many locations, over the years. I used to spend a lot of time up in Scotland a few years ago, and a great, amazing place that I investigated was Killeen Castle, and that was on another level of incredible. I was invited there as a guest on my own to go and investigate it, and yeah, so that was probably up there with one of my favourites, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, there's some cool places up in Scotland. I mean, Ben nearly got taken to hospital when he went to Nidri Vaults, but that wasn't paranormal. That's because he decided to jump on the stairs.
Yeah, that wasn't paranormal. That was forgetting how tall I was going up a flight of stairs.
This is what I say to people. Like, it's as much as it's like, because obviously there are the paranormal. When I first started 4 years ago, it was, it was cheap to go and investigate. Nowadays, you've got these standout places like Nottingham Courts of Justice or Kelvedon Secret, and they're charging like thousands of pounds for people to investigate.
Yeah, that's right.
But like I say to people, it's the places that you underestimate that haven't been investigated a lot that you'll get a lot of the stuff happening.
Yeah, that's it. And I agree with you on that. It's, I mean, years ago when I first started, never paid for a location. As I got known on the circuit of going around as an investigator, I got invited to a lot of places. And then obviously Most Haunted comes on the scene, opens the door of the paranormal world of, events. And, then obviously the places that used to get invited to then start charging things like £1,000 or 500 quid and things like that. And most of these places are over trampled, they're overkilled because the amount of people that go through there. We only run small groups in here of a maximum of 6 people if it's members of the public. If it's a team, we do allow 8. But then obviously we shut the building down as well. So we let the building breathe, and we let the artifacts breathe, regain its energy. It's not over trampled by anything in any way, shape, or form. But and it's a hard industry to be in. But I believe what we're doing here, we're doing it the right way. The results are showing what we're getting, it seems to be great at the moment. But we do put a lot of time into what we do.
100% agree with you. Look at what you guys are doing. This is top notch. It's top notch.
Mm-hmm.
Can't disagree with that. And I know Ben's seen your praises a lot. And if you've impressed Ben and Lou, you've made it. That's all I can say.
So we've got another question here. Hold up. Bill's asking, no, I'm not saying that Scottish people are short. I'm saying in Edinburgh vaults, there's a very short step. I didn't see it. I jumped up and there's a large concrete beam across the top. Damon's got an apparition behind him.
That's my dad. He's making coffee.
Best bit of equipment being asked now, like Chris.
Wow. It's a tough call, I'll be honest with you. Again, for me, it's down to how you use your equipment. For me, I love to use my own senses and my own feelings at the end of the day rather than any piece of equipment. If I had to, I like to use spirit boxes like PSP7s and things like that. I love to do EVP work and all that sort of thing. So it's just, I don't really have a favourite piece that I would go to be honest with you. I really don't. It's what we get results-wise at the end of the day. So, like I've just seen Annette commented about my planchette that's made with ashes. And it's a great thing to have. It's very active and it's great on board. So, but yeah, it's a personal thing to me. So it was one of my friends who passed away, and his wife gave me some of his ashes. And I've got some of his ashes upstairs in the museum. He's a very playful character. He was in life and he is in death. We did a spirit box, a live feed where he actually worked at the club where we were. And I believe, it was down to his energy. His funeral song came out on the spirit box when we were doing the investigation. So yeah, and then I put some of his ashes. I made a planchette out of resin and flooded it with his ashes as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anything like that. That's quite cool.
Yeah, but it's quite unique because it's very personal. And if whatever you believe in and how a Ouija board works or a spirit board, how incredible is it to actually have the ashes of somebody that you know personally to communicate through a board using it. So, there's many different ways of using a board and what your beliefs are. And, it doesn't come out very often because it's very personal to myself, so, but it's just something different again.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of anything like that, but the concept behind it, that makes sense. Yeah. It really does. It does make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just something unique, something different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming here Chris is a friend of yours because he seems to be doing exactly what me and Damon do to each other when we're on show.
Yes, he is. Chris is our troll hunter. He's our eye in the sky. So if we're on a live feed, Chris is from Scotland. Yeah. And he keeps an eye on the social side of things when we're on the live feeds and things like that. So he supports us very well. He's been with me for such a long time, probably from when when Facebook started and we come on the social media side of things. He's been around for a long time. But yeah, he hounds me as well.
Yeah, he's been on board. It's all because do what me and Damon do. If Damon's on a live doing an interview, I will drop into the comments and start bombarding him with questions.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So, what sort of stuff do you sell in the spirit shop, part of the museum?
So we do a little bit of everything. We do like we work with 2 local companies as well. Who do he makes like ceramic ghosts. Then we have a lovely lady Danielle who does ghost shaped bath bombs and things like that, and figures and stuff, don't she? Some amazing stuff. And then we print our own mugs, and I make Ouija boards myself and things like that, and hoodies, t-shirts, just crystals and gems, pendulums and dowsing boards and things like that. Just more of the esoteric side of things, just something a little bit different. And we try not to flood the shop too much. It's just little bits of things, tarot and angel cards, that people can purchase as an impulse buy when they come into the museum. So yeah, it's a little bit of everything.
Just need some coasters to go with them mugs now.
We've got them.
And we've got some now. We've got some.
Oh, I've missed it.
I'll send you some, mate, don't worry.
Yeah. What's your future plans then for the museum? Because obviously I know you're expanding, but obviously people are watching now.
The thing is with the museum, as you've seen when you come into the museum shop, obviously we've got Valak and Pennywise, and we love the horror things ourselves. But we take a great lot of pride in keeping that to the shop area, and then the reality of the museum is on a different level of what I believe. And the extension of the museum will continue to be as the museum. We're just in the process, fingers crossed, waiting to hear back from the Arts Council of England now for the registration for us to be the museum. So we're just waiting for that to come through, aren't we? So that's exciting for us as well, to be official with it as well. And they love what we're doing here so far and what we're producing. So yeah, it's all good, isn't it?
Sorry, the cat came on the screen. I got excited.
So yeah, we just want to keep going and growing the way that we're going with the artifacts. Like, you guys coming and vetting us out was a massive shock. As you saw my reaction at the end of your tour when you introduced yourselves, and I was blown away. I was so made up. Like, there's people like yourselves out there. It's just nice to be getting a little bit of recognition for the work that we're doing, the way that we're doing it, on a genuine level. And when people like yourselves come and look at us and what we're doing, and we didn't know who you are, and you had a tour the same as everybody else has a tour when they come to the museum. And we take great pride in what we do and the way that we do things. We love it. So just to expand on a bigger scale of where we're going with the artifacts that we're getting would be amazing.
Yep. So we've got a question from Kath. Do you have a Facebook page to link to the shop?
Yeah, you can find everything on the Haunted Museum and Spirit Shop Stoke page. So everything's on there, absolutely everything. So you can find all the information and dates available, and shop stuff and things and everything on there.
I will also.
What we'll do is, yeah, definitely. We will link it on our page after the show. We will get our admin Louisa to do it for us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
If we ask Ben to do it, we'll get a link to some sort of game show or something. Normally.
Hey, it wasn't that bad. I sent you that video and it linked you straight to the FBI.
Yeah,
halfway through.
Yeah, exactly. I was waiting for helicopters and everything over the house, man. Seriously, I was crapping myself.
Yeah. Maybe what we'll have to do is you 3 guys come down to the museum one night and investigate with us here and experience for yourselves on the investigation side of things. And we say to everybody, just come and experience for yourselves. And that's we can't say anything other than that of what we do. Is my whole thing of I've collected artifacts for many years, and opening a museum has been a dream of mine for 15 years or so now. And then obviously coming out of the pandemic, it was a gamble and a decision that we chose to make. And what we want to offer, the thing with us is I want to try and give people a genuine experience of the paranormal world at the end of the day, and take that away with you. It's as Ben will tell you, it's just it is what it is. There's no gimmicks. There's nothing fancy here. It's an old building that dates back to over 200 years, and the artifacts have got documentation to them, and we just want people to come and experience this side of things of what we do.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, 100%.
Another dimension on that. Yes, Kathy, it does look like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm well up for that. Like, I haven't been out and investigated for like at least 6 months. So it'd be definitely something that I'd love to do. I mean, to come down and it'll, for people out there that are investigating and want to go and visit a museum, what you have to remember is that it'll put you at ease going into somewhere like that, because A, Craig knows what he's doing, and so do the people that work there. B, they're methodical, and the way they work is absolutely phenomenal. It's fantastic. They literally rule out any skepticism. So if you're experiencing something, it's genuine, And C, like, you guys, you've researched everything. You know about everything in there.
Yeah.
You're constantly in the place. So if it gets dangerous, then you can sort of go like, right, we're going to shut this down. You know what you're doing. So
we do that, yeah, because obviously people who come into the building, this is what we believe is this is the real side of the paranormal industry, what we try to produce and let people experience here. But my main concern is always, and Jem will tell you this, and my main thing is my team, their safety. This isn't a game of what we do, and there are some strange things out there, and there are things that I believe that can have an effect on people, and then members of the public. And if at any point I thought that anybody was in any form of danger, or I was uncomfortable with the atmosphere or the energy of the museum, I would stop the night instantly and I would close it down, because that's what we do at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So everybody's safety comes first before everything else at the end of the day.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Full respect for that as well.
Yep.
Aaron was well saying be respectful when entering someone else's house. Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of people investigating stuff now forget that basic rule.
Yeah, correct.
You are in someone else's home, and they forget it. Even if it's an abandoned building, you are still in that entity's home. Yeah. And if it wants to, it will turn on you.
That's what we say to people who come in. Obviously, we don't allow anybody to touch the artifacts. For one, that's a golden rule. And then we always say to everybody, be respectful of these artifacts and the items that are in here. This is their home now. And some of these artifacts have been with me for many years. And all I ask for anybody who comes through the doors, just be open-minded and show respect at the end of the day. And that's what it's all about. Nothing more than that, And the more you put in, the more you get out of this location. And that's all we ask from people at the end of the day is come in and be respectful.
Yeah.
100%. So, because we're getting towards the end of the show now, I've been wanting to ask you this question. What's the strangest thing that's ever happened to either you or a team that you've had there at the museum? What's the one thing that you've actually gone, do you know what? This stands out. I'll always remember this.
Right.
Awful things here. I heard that.
That's a really, because we have quite a lot going on. I got to be honest with you.
One thing.
Oh wow, what a tough question. Because we have so much going on here. I think for one of the things that stands out the most is we had an artifact brought in that I didn't know that this artifact was here, and it was brought by one of our ex-team members, and it's got a very strong attachment with this artifact, and the whole museum, the atmosphere changed. It went so much darker. And we couldn't pinpoint what it was it? And then we had a guest medium come in, a lady I've known for many years, and she said there's something here that doesn't belong here, and she looked at the two people who actually brought this thing here, and it was just so bizarre. Once the museum changed much darker for a period of time.
Yeah, it did.
And we were on a live feed one night. It was a Sunday evening. I will never forget it. And people who've known me for many years on the live feed, I just said I don't want to be in this building because it just feels dangerous. It feels dark. I just couldn't pinpoint it, and I shut it down and I went. It's just, things like that are just bizarre. But we get a lot of things, the physical things that happen in the museum. You know, people get poked, prodded, pulled. They've had hats taken off their heads. You know, breaths, very loud growls. You know, which we've caught on camera as well. There's so many bizarre things that go on here. It's just incredibly strange sometimes. You know, then we have times where we have nothing at all as well. You know, we're not saying that this is the most active place in the world. Never ever going to say that. We've had nights and days when we've come in here and had nothing at all whatsoever. You know, it is what it is. We can't physically make things happen. We can just try and work in a respectful way to try and get these energies to interact with us, or you know, that's how it is.
Cool.
That's way of being,
cool.
isn't it?
Mm.
Yep, 100%. I mean, it does sound amazing. It's definitely something that me and Ben and Louisa will have to sort of work out, and we'll definitely come down and investigate. I mean, if you're up for that, Ben, Louisa, 100%, I'm up for that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You're coming up country, so you need your passport.
Yeah.
You Essex boys, you all look the same, so you're going to have a passport up here.
Yeah, we're all orange.
Yeah.
So, for the listeners out there that are locked in, can you just let them know any links or how they can get onto you guys, or where you're based? Just basically use this time to plug the crap out of the museum.
Yeah, basically, right. You can find us. We are in Stoke-on-Trent. We're at number 283 City Road in Fenton. If you want to find us on social media, you can head over to our Facebook page. It's the Haunted Museum and Spirit Shop Stoke. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You name it, you'll find us everywhere. There you go. I think that's our Chris is posting the link there for us. Thank you very much, Chris. We're also on YouTube.
Oh, Chris, I was the one that pressed it. Do you know what?
You know,
I'm retiring.
You know, and we're not one of these teams, even here at the museum. We don't record full episodes and things like that. We just put the clips on what we get from the cameras and stuff, you know, and everything. Even though we only put a small clip on there of the activity, we always save the whole bit of footage. So we have it always to go back to, so we can produce anything that needs to be proven to anybody at the end of the day. But you know, go over and have a look at the page and have a look for yourself, guys, at the end of the day. And if you wish, come here and visit us and experience it for yourselves. That's the only way I can explain it to anybody.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Brilliant. Me and Ben, have you got any more questions before we finish the show?
No, I'm keeping up to date with everything that they're doing with the box and that lot, and full respect for how they're doing it. They've listened to every bit. Well, I say every little bit of advice. They've listened to the advice I've given them, and
yeah,
I can't say a bad word about them, to be honest.
Thank you,
Louisa. Have you got any questions before we finish?
Yeah, I got a quick one. This is to Gemma, though. Sorry, Craig.
It's all right.
Go on. So, obviously, you supported Craig. What did you think about it when he brought up this idea of opening the whole museum?
Well, it's just great, isn't it?
she loves it just as much as me at the end of the day, to be honest with you. So it just works well, don't it? We're both heavily into the paranormal field, aren't we?
And you can see how I can throw my voice again, Louise.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, carry on. No, go on. I do apologise.
Oh.
Sorry. Go on.
He can't help himself. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, it was all done from his room through lockdown and that. And the activity was amazing in there and everything. And there's so many followers. And yeah, this place is just amazing. So, and it's doing everything that we need to do, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So yeah, all good. And I don't need sleep. It's great.
It's cool. It's nice to have guests on the show that are very level-headed, sort of down to earth, know what they're doing within their field that they're practicing as well. It's really refreshing. It's nice to have that. I mean, we've had some brilliant guests on the show. We've had some dreadful guests on the show, but I mean, you're going to be up there. You've got to be up there in the top three. 100% got to be up there in the top three.
Yeah.
God,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, one last question from Chris. He says, when are you building a coal cupboard?
Can you just ban him off the page?
Yeah, just block him.
No, next time you guys, like when we have you guys on next time, which we'll definitely have to get you on like further down the line so we can keep in touch.
I mean,
fans can see how you guys are progressing and everything. We'll get Chris on as well.
right.
No, we're not getting Chris on because he asks stupid questions like
Yeah.
that. We're never getting the call from him.
You know, all we can say, like, is we'd love to just say thank you very much for your support.
Yeah.
And obviously coming down, trusting us with the artifacts, the box. It's an amazing thing for us to have you at the museum, and obviously you came down to have a look at who we were and what we do, and it's just nice for the right people in the industry to be supporting each other and looking at what we do, the way that we do things. We can't thank you enough. It's been brilliant. And it does mean the world to us, guys.
We feel very honoured.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Mate, you're welcome. It's great having you guys on.
You never gave me a reply to my email, so I had to come down and ask in person.
So as we get towards the end of the show, don't forget, guys, we've got a show on Sunday, Occult and Science with Ben and Lou. What are you guys doing this week? You carrying on with the same book?
I will be carrying on with the same book as we start to look more at the association when it comes to the demonic hierarchy, because that's the section that we're going to be looking at in the book. So heads on a bit, and we'll dive into that one. It's going to be an interesting one.
Definitely. So make sure you guys look into that. That's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. The Occult. It's 7. Yes. Is it 7 or 8, Ben?
It's 7. It's 7:30 till 8:30.
So from 7:30
just
to
8:30, I like being
guys,
annoying.
make sure you look on Sunday. Yeah, you are annoying. Have to do the half hours. So make sure you guys look into that one.
Yes.
I will be doing a surprise live next week, and I'm going to be introducing you to some of my library books that I've got. Once again, thank you to Craig and Gemma for coming on tonight. It's been absolutely fantastic. Do not forget, guys, Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday, catch myself, Ben and Louisa down at the Festival of the Unexplained at Tewkesbury, where we'll be doing our talks, and there will be a Slate and Bone stall down there along other stuff. So make sure you look into that one. But from us here at The Other Dimension, from myself, Ben, Louisa, Craig and Gemma, once again, thank you for coming on. It's been a really, really great night.
Thank you.
And it's a goodbye from me and goodbye from Ben and Lou.
That's
I'll get there one day. And until the same time next week, just remember, guys, it is...
Hold up. Free entry for
Tewkesbury.
Tewkesbury. I keep saying Twickenham. I'm so sorry.
Good job Ben's not driving there.
Yeah, it is a good job. So love you guys, same time next week. And if there is no other explanation, there is always The Other Dimension. We're out of here. Take care, guys. See you later.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.